Welcome to today's interview. Today I'm talking to a woman that I've always admired for her style and her fashion and anything to do with women. So I'm with Mary Bryan, and she's married to Frank, and I want to introduce her now. Hello, Mary.
Hi, Angela.
Thank you for coming in today to be with me.
Those lovely comments. Thank you, but I don't know about that.
You'll be fine. No worries at all.
Okay.
Mary, when were you born?
I was born in 1955,
Yeah.
29th of July, 1955. Yeah.
How many children do you have?
I have two,
Yeah.
Stephanie and Thomas.
Are they living with you?
Thomas is living in Thomastown.
Is
He
she
works in
Seattle?
Thomastown, and Stephanie's in Seattle, and she's a teacher in Seattle. She taught in the presentation primary for a while, and then she got married in Seattle, and Thomas is here in Thomastown. He bought a
Thomastown.
house in Thomastown.
Yes. So,
He's an OT in Thomastown as well. So
good.
yeah,
So they're done for
they're
a
both
year.
done for
Yeah.
yeah. They come and go. We go over and back to Stephanie now,
That's good.
but
Yeah. It's great you can get over there too.
oh yeah, it is now
Here.
that there's no COVID.
Yeah,
You
of
see, we
course.
can go over and stay for a while. And I'm married to Frank. Frank Bryan was
He's
from
a lovely
Fashion
man.
Place. Yeah,
Lovely man.
as my mother said, hang on to him.
Yeah. Yeah. Mary, where do you come in the family?
In the middle,
Yeah.
there's
So how many-
4 older and 4 younger.
So-
So there was 9 of us,
Yeah.
and I'm the middle child.
Good.
First
Yeah.
4, and then a gap.
Were you the boy
Me.
child?
I was the middle child, the trouble child, I
Yeah.
suppose. Yeah, I
was
wasn't
too.
trouble. Yeah,
I was too.
yeah.
My
I had a good time, Angela. That's
know,
all I
I
can
know.
say. I done my own thing, I suppose.
Yeah.
And yeah, I hope I wasn't that much trouble.
You
to
were
her.
not at all. Mary.
Yeah, I was.
Fine woman.
Yeah,
Not at all. We all were a bit wild in our younger
I
days.
was. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was.
No harm at all.
Yeah.
Mary, where did you go to school?
I first went to Fuchstown School, and that closed. It was only 2-room and a stable, but we loved it.
Yeah.
And both Fuchstown and Sheestown School closed, and we went into the John of God, and I was going into 5th class,
Okay.
and sure we were lost.
That was
We
a
were-
big change.
Yeah,
It really was.
big change. I always remember Lortimer Senner. She was a great friend of mine, Anne Moulton,
Mhm.
and the two of us just stood looking at one another when we got off of that bus.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got used to it, and
Yeah.
we
I can
went
just
to
see
school.
the two of you standing there, and
Yeah.
all those other pupils, and
All the others
where do
going
you
in.
go? What
yeah.
do you do?
And like in Fuchstown School, your family was with you.
Yeah.
Whereas when we went in there, we were taken in different, the Lena up to a
Classes.
classroom, and we
Yeah.
had to put slippers.
Did
We
you?
had to wear slippers, yeah.
I've never heard. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, we had the slippers.
Yeah.
Probably another expense on Mammy. And they stayed in school, yeah. Probably, I don't know
That's
why
leave
that was.
them there,
Right.
just
Yeah, that's stay
put
in
'em on.
school, yeah. Yeah,
And take
stay
them
in
off then
school,
again.
yeah.
Yeah, I was in the country school as well, and there were 2 rooms in it, and one of the rooms was, baby infants, senior infants, first
And
class,
second,
and second
yeah.
class,
yeah.
and then third, fourth, and fifth.
You went into the master.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved Fuchstown School.
Yeah.
No.
See, it was so different.
Yeah, completely different,
You're
yeah.
lucky to have that school.
Yeah.
then. And she
That
went
was it.
into
My
it.
dad went there, you
Did
see.
he?
Yeah, Dad went
Oh,
there,
my
so
God.
that was part of,
Part of the
going
whole
on,
thing, then.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
brilliant, sure.
yeah.
Yeah. So, Mary, when did you get married then?
I got married in 1980. I had met Frank. Frank was my boss. We worked in the VG for Musgraves,
Okay.
and yeah, we never got on.
Yeah.
But I ended up married, and
That
yeah,
happened.
I was very lucky. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a great guy. I loved him. Probably calmed me down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we had great times. And
You did, of course.
he married, and he left then, and he went to Padmore Barnes,
Yeah.
and I had Stephanie.
Yeah.
3 years after we were married, she was born in 83,
Yeah.
and Thomas then came in 85.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all go
It was.
Yeah,
It was.
yeah,
In the
it was,
beginning,
yeah. It was,
Yeah.
good times and
yeah.
bad times. You had a mortgage, so we
Oh,
had to pay a mortgage,
Of
but
course.
I stayed at home with the kids.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
probably, I did go back
Yeah.
for 2 or 3 days when Stephanie was young,
Mhm.
and my sister Teresa took her,
Yeah.
but after I was crying.
Were you?
Yeah, I cried a lot.
You couldn't.
And then we decided,
Didn't want
yeah,
to leave her. Shelley.
yeah, probably, yeah. Now when I think back, I
Yeah.
probably should have left her more, but I didn't. And
No.
then Thomas came, so
You
we
were at home.
decided to stay at
Yeah.
home, and we managed.
Yeah.
We managed on.
Yeah. For me too, I have 4, but I worked when the last fellow was 2.
Yes,
I went back into work then. I was home for years
Oh, yeah.
and years
Yeah.
and years.
I
And
was.
they went to this country school as well, to John's Well, so all of them except the youngest fella had school in John's Well.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, that's
so
lovely.
exactly. They put on a lot of plays always. That's about how they did really.
Yeah,
They didn't really learn much, but
yeah. But times were different, Angela. There were, we done the Irish play. Mr. Powell was
Did
our
you?
teacher, and in Cookstown School, Puff Puff,
yeah.
and I'm not going to sing it, but I can still sing that to this
I
day,
think
and
I
I
did
can
too.
do all the parts of who was doing what part.
Yeah.
And all
All
that.
that kind
Yeah.
of thing, yeah.
So
Were you ever the star?
no.
No.
John of God, we had a play, and Anne Moulton and myself were picked. There was first, seconds, and thirds, so we were picked. Our voices,
Yes.
and because we're country kids, we
Yeah.
didn't have to do it.
Okay.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to stay in
Okay.
after school, and her granny was down in. They had the pub there in down near Riverside Drive.
Yeah, I know where
The
you're
Watergate.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that it? Off down that direction.
Yes, yeah.
They were off down there, and we
Okay.
were allowed to walk down there.
Were you?
And then either Mr. Walton at the time,
Yeah.
Tom, or Daddy would collect us.
Collected.
Take turn, yeah.
Really, that's
For
good.
but that's the only time we starred, because we were the only 2 standing to the side while the rest of them were all in a group.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, I was never a star in anything.
No. Boy.
No, I'm not a star. I'm not a
Yeah.
star pupil
Not
in
at all.
anything. No.
Mary, tell me your earlier years growing up in Bryan
Bryan.
with your mammy and daddy and your sisters. And
Brothers.
was it all sisters you had? One
No,
brother?
2 boys.
Two
and
boys.
2 boys and 7 girls.
7 girls.
So there was Colin, Seamus, Kathleen, Stella, Mary, Sheila, Teresa, Anne, and Mag. Margaret, Daddy never let us call her Mags.
Yeah.
Mags. Yeah, we had Ormond House.
Yeah.
Daddy had a little bit of land, and he walked it. He also worked in a pub, and he done all he could. Strict man, very
Yeah.
strict.
Mm-hmm.
Mammy wasn't.
Yeah.
But she was always at home.
Yeah.
And we had to go for water. Don't know whether we had no running water.
You did?
And we had a churns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you remember
simple
the
life. We all got a new bike when we were.
Did you?
We all got a new bike when we were 12 for secondary school.
Brilliant.
We had second-hand bikes up to then,
Yeah.
but you needed a good
Had
bike when you
a
were
new
going
bike
out.
then.
Yeah, and had to be looked after.
Of course.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. Did you have the red reflective lights on the back?
Yeah,
When you
and we had a
coming
lamp.
home in the dark?
2 lamps, one
Did
for
you?
the back and one for the
Oh,
front.
really? Yeah.
And I had a basket
As
on
well.
the front, a little tight
Did you put
basket.
your bag in front?
For the school. No, I always put my bag on the back.
Did you?
Yeah, I always preferred it on the carrier. Because
But you had a basket.
Yeah, we had the basket. What was
Like a wicker work one, was it?
No, it was more of a stainless steel thing
Oh, okay.
in front. It
Oh, I
hasn't
see.
told enough. Well, it was that.
Yeah.
When we got the bike, you got a
That-
pump, the lights, and the basket.
And the basket.
And then there was a little thing on the back of the saddle with all the little gadgets.
Where
You
they?
know, the
Lights.
screwdrivers and all that.
Okay.
If something happened, not that it was ever opened. It's
Wasn't
we
that
never
great?
used it. Yeah.
Wasn't that
Yeah.
brilliant?
And you had to mend your bikes.
Yeah. Yourself?
Yeah. Well, no, Mammy used to do it.
Yeah. She would
She was
she?
brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
She'd have a basin.
Oh, that's
And she
wonderful.
would
How
put-
would she mend the bike?
She had a basin, and she'd take off the tire and the tube, and she'd put the tube into the basin of water, and then the bubble would come, So she'd mark it,
Yeah.
and then there might be two.
Mm.
And then she'd mark them.
Mhm.
And then she had her little glue or whatever it was they used, and a little
Was it
thing
a
to go
patch?
over it. To be a patch, but that had to be stuck down. And then the bikes were mended.
Yeah.
But we had to clean our bikes every Saturday and oil the
That
chain.
was a weekend.
Yeah,
thing.
because we needed our bikes, Angela.
Mm.
We needed our bikes to go in and out. Daddy made
Of
one
course.
trip in the morning and one trip in the evening.
Yeah.
And if you didn't like that, you went on your bike.
Yeah.
I always went on my bike.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
loved the
it.
bike.
Not a bother on you.
Just only out the road, really.
Yeah. So, like, with all the girls and the two boys, and say for breakfast in the morning, would you be all at the table together, or would you come in like different times? Or
Breakfast time, we would all be at the weekend. We'd all be together. Dinner time at the weekend and Sundays. But first lot would be gone maybe at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then the next lot would get the bus for school,
Yeah.
the 9 o'clock bus.
Okay.
Because we had to get a bus because Fuchstown School closed.
yeah,
So we got a free bus
To the-
in
yes.
and out.
Yeah.
And
collectively.
yeah, and then you'd have porridge.
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
What would you have? for
I love
breakfast?
porridge.
Did you?
So, but the younger ones would have having cornflakes and
Yeah.
that. But we always had porridge or scrambled egg,
Yeah.
and at the weekends then to be a fry.
Yeah.
Now,
Would-
rasher sausage, black
Yeah.
pudding, and something like that. It wouldn't be like what they have
No.
now. Have 3 or 4 rasher
Yeah.
sausage. All, no, nothing like that. But you
No,
would have it
but you
on
would
a
have-
Saturday and
Wasn't
Sunday.
that lovely though?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and always, yeah.
That was the nice to relax for the weekend and have the nice food. And,
Oh yeah, that was it. And then you had to wash up and dry up.
Yeah.
And there was
did you
someone
have
to
to
wash.
do the wash up?
Oh yeah, Stella would wash up
Would you?
and we'd dry up.
Yeah.
And then someone else had to sweep and tidy up. And once that was done, you could go off and play them.
Could you? Yeah.
Yeah, once all the
Would you
jobs
go
were
back
done.
into town on your bike?
Yeah, when it was late, you see, when I was
Yeah.
young, I wouldn't be
Did you
missing.
sleep off at all?
Oh, I always did. Yeah,
Yeah.
I always. Yeah, Stella was great. Now my
Was she?
second oldest sister,
Yeah.
and she said, "Where were you?" And I said,
Yeah.
"Up the road."
Yeah.
And she said, "Your bike?" Yeah, I would have went into town.
Would
Yeah, I
you?
was. Yeah, and she was great because she was working.
Yeah.
She would buy me
Would she?
jeans and different things.
Were
yeah.
they the like the flare jeans?
Yeah, flare jeans, and then it came to your waist.
Short.
Yeah.
Short in the body.
And then you had the hipster jumper, but
Yeah.
I had to have mine down a bit further because
Yeah.
I didn't like our
Yeah.
tummies shown.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when I
What
went
about your
outside then-
shoes?
I had loafers with
Yeah.
jeans, and then I used to have platforms.
What's
Black-
loafers like?
Loafers were just an ordinary pair of black shoes,
Yeah.
and you put studs
Mittens?
in them. No, just a black.
Yeah.
Well, maybe a shiny, but not really shiny. They were more the men's shoe, but
Yeah.
they came into fashion as
For
a loafer.
women.
And we used to put studs in them, so
Oh.
they'd make noise. That was part of it.
On-
Yeah, the base
on the
issue
sole of
roller.
them.
Yeah,
There.
yeah.
Did
On
you
the
still-
heels, yeah, we put the studs in.
So it could be
You'd
there.
leave them into the ace repairs,
Okay.
and he'd put the studs in.
Would he?
3
Yeah.
on the heel.
Okay. She'd never wear them out, like, you know.
Yeah, I'd wear them into town and that.
But
You
you know
wouldn't
what
be
I mean?
allowed to go
Like,
to
they never
Manson.
wear
in 'em.
out.
Oh no, you never wear out the heel. No, that's. Daddy always said that's what they'd done years
Yeah.
in his
Yeah,
time.
right there, I
They
can remember that
studded,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
But this was a trend
Yeah.
in my time, and we had the studs in the loafers. and-
Yeah. Did you like the platforms?
Yeah, because I wore them.
Mhm.
I was a platform, and
Yes.
the pants came right down over them then as well.
Yeah.
So and you had to have the hem just dead on,
Just dead on.
Yeah.
In case you trip.
which Mammy done.
Did you?
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember I had platforms as well. And sure, I kept falling in them. I thought I'd break my ankle in the end. I
yeah.
had to go back to the regular shoes and boots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But look, we were ruining our feet, but we didn't
Yeah.
care.
I didn't
I
care.
didn't care.
That was the fashion.
Yeah, and that
And
was
we
it.
wanted to be, in the latest fashion.
Oh, you had to be.
Yeah.
Well, I had to be.
Yeah.
It's not that you have to be.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to be.
We
in
wanted
it.
to be. We wanted to
That's
look
part
really,
of life.
really
everyone.
nice
Yeah.
and everything, didn't we? So Mary, on the day then of your first Holy Communion, as they used to say years and years ago, how was that for you?
In our house,
Yeah.
well, whoever was making the communion was the special person. And you got up that morning and everything was about Well, it was about me.
Yeah.
And the last minute would be the dress and your little shoes and your stockings. And you had a candle with a doily and all flowers. Mine were carnations all around your Mammy. They were in the garden.
Yeah.
And Mammy had done up mine. And off to Mass.
Yeah.
And
What kind
it
of
was
dress?
little short, to the knee,
Mm-hmm.
little nylon dress. And
Was it lace or just chiffon or?
no, there was no lace. It was just a white nylon dress with a little kind of a thing here on the top of it, kind of,
Yeah.
and something that looked like a pocket, but it wasn't a pocket.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a little design on the end of it. Yeah, lovely dress. And I loved it.
Did
yeah,
you?
yeah.
And
And my
you
hair
all
cut short.
Did you all get the same dress, or did you have a?
No, you see, Kathleen would have been the oldest,
Mhm.
so she had her dress.
Yeah.
And Stella was the year after her, but Stella was smaller,
Mm-hmm.
so that dress wouldn't have done. And then there was a gap,
Yeah.
and I came.
Yeah.
But we wore our dresses. We wore our communion dress every Sunday going to Mass.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, our dresses probably wouldn't have been passed down because we wore them every Sunday. Couldn't be passed down. They'd be gone, so.
And what did you on your head?
I had a veil and a little wreath of flowers on my head.
Were they fresh
No,
flowers?
no, they weren't fresh flowers.
Yeah, they were.
Now that was passed on.
Was it?
Yeah, that would have been kept.
Yeah.
The veil wasn't, because when Kathleen made her communion, the candle, and as she always says, she remembers getting this slap in the back of her neck. The candle set fire to her veil. And she
veil.
burnt the side of the veil so that the veil was no good then. So Stella got the new veil the next time, and then it passed down.
Yeah.
We never knew the difference in passed down or anything.
No.
We wouldn't have, You had a little handbag and I had gloves.
Oh, lovely.
And a little purse with
Yeah,
beads
didn't you
and
feel
a
so
prayer
special?
book. Yeah, and everyone was dressed up, and the lads had their little hats and and whatever.
Oh,
Yeah.
lovely. Well, was there many of you making your first communion at the
There
time?
was 2 boys and 4 girls.
Can you imagine? You probably did all fitted into the one pew. Did you?
We all fitted in the front row, and then
Yeah.
the teacher sat behind us.
Did she?
Yeah, and our parents were down the back.
Yeah.
And then we went up to make your communion,
Yeah.
and as I said
Just walked up.
before, you just got the communion and you were afraid to
Tell me about
stuck to your
the
throat.
communion, the Holy Communion, the bread.
Bread of life, and you went up and you got your communion, and I thought I was going to choke because it was stuck to the roof of my mouth, but you can't put your hand in.
No. That's right.
So, but passed.
Yeah,
Seemed
that's
like
right.
ages, which was probably.
Well, how about
I
the
got
other-
through it.
How about the other children? Did they react to the bread or anything?
No, they were all. No, they were fine. I think they were all fine. We were all so
Lovely.
delighted. And then afterwards, you got money
Yeah.
from everybody.
Oh, sure,
yeah,
that's lovely.
yeah,
Yeah.
half a crown or
Yeah.
2 shillings.
Counting it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Granny would give us £1.
Would she?
Granddad.
Oh, that was a lot. I know it was a lot.
Or a 10 shilling note.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
that? Yeah.
Was
yeah.
it orange or
Orange? Yeah, orange and green was
Green.
£1. Yeah.
red? And
Oh no, you wouldn't be getting much of them.
No.
But I think Granny and Mammy's brothers were married, so
yeah,
they were
they were good
good.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those were the days, when you see the orange and 10 shillings, like, you thought you
Well,
were
what would we got
rich.
for it? Yeah.
So rich.
Yeah, but we were.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
we were.
were.
We were rich in
Wonderful.
other ways, in
Yeah.
a different way than they are
Of course,
today. Yeah.
Yeah. Were your parents strict, Mary?
My dad was very strict. Probably with 7 girls, he had to be. Very strict, but yeah, good man. Good man to work. And Mammy, no, Mammy
Just-
was
Yeah.
the peacemaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
She
yeah.
was the good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he was a good man
Of
too.
course.
But when I was a teenager, he had given up cigarettes as
Yeah.
well. So I was kind of
Yeah.
cross. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
cross.
You're
Yeah,
right,
and he
yeah.
probably I was a bit wilder, so
Yeah,
he had
That's
to.
okay too.
Yeah,
That's fine too.
yeah, he
And
was a good
you,
man.
You know how men used to get ready for work? they'd always have their boots or shoes
Yeah.
shined up,
Polished.
nearly see your face in them.
Yeah.
And
But we had to polish them.
did you?
Yeah, I had to polish the
Yeah.
boys' shoes.
Yeah.
But then when the boys started working,
Yeah.
they used to have to give me some money.
Oh, that was a good way of getting
I never got
money.
money off of Daddy. I just polished these shoes. Yeah, it was done on a Saturday night.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, all the
For
shoes
Sunday.
were
For
polished.
Sunday.
But the boys, they give me some money then.
Yeah.
So
Were they all left in a row along the shoes?
all in the back kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mommy would put the stockings into the shoes, would she?
No, our stockings would be in the room.
Yeah.
But our shoes would be down in the
Yeah.
back kitchen. Or sometimes you might have a pair brought to the room.
Yeah.
Our rooms weren't as big
No.
as today and that,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Just still manage like that.
But I always slept in a bed on my own,
Did
even
you?
though there was 9 of us. I think it's because of the gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could have been too.
Yeah. As we got older, though,
Yeah.
I did
Yeah,
share a
of course.
bed. Yeah.
Share
But
girls.
yeah, I used to often say that to Frank, you're the chosen one.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
Of course. And when they used to shave, they had a different razor and they had carbolic soap.
That's
was,
right.
Was that the one?
Daddy used to have Lux soap, even though
Lux.
we did have carbolic soap. It was terrible rough on his skin,
Okay.
and he had a Lux soap, and it had to be rainwater.
Yeah.
Or even when the water after years was piped in and the whole
Yeah.
lot, he always used rainwater to shave his little brush and his and his little cup.
Yeah, would you do that outside or would you bring the water in?
Oh no, inside. It
Yeah.
came inside, into the bedroom. And
Yeah.
now before,
Yeah.
the bathroom was outside first, but
Yes.
he would be in the back kitchen. Everything
Yeah.
seemed to be done, everything in our back kitchen.
In the back kitchen.
Yeah, the kitchen we
Organised.
ate and cooked.
Yeah.
Back kitchen, everything was
Yeah.
in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
Oh,
wanted to
okay.
find out and you found it
Found
in the
it
back
in there.
kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember my mother, she used to say that the rainwater was the best to wash your hair. That was softer for your hair.
Yes.
She would believe that and she would always use that on us like,
But we were the same.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the rainwater.
Yeah, but we had to go to the well for water with 2 buckets and bring the water home across fields at some time and in through a wood another time and sure half of it would be gone by the time you get home. You'd be drowned on each side of your
Each side of your leg, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you put it on the
Yeah.
bike and you try cycling and you're drowned. Yeah. Well, we had that too, yeah. The pump was up the road from us.
Yeah,
And
You'd have to do that too.
well, we'd have to go a few times
yeah.
now. Yeah,
Especially when she was washing. On
fill up the
Monday she used to
churn.
wash. And she had a washboard. She had a big stainless steel bath. It was tin, I think, maybe tin bath. And she'd be filling it with water, you see. And we'd have to go then a couple of times to the well to get the water for the washing.
And there'd be a
And
big
we used to
sauce.
hate that, Mary.
So did we.
We didn't
We
want
actually
to go
hated
at all.
wash day at all. On Monday we hated it, yeah.
We did
Monday
too.
was a stew.
Yeah,
We had a stew because
yeah,
the wash day,
yeah, just
Take
washed it.
back.
She couldn't get it back. And then out on the line, all these pegs pegging them out
How
on the
did they
line.
try him? Because they
I don't
couldn't have
know.
been.
That could be raining, for days maybe.
But even when you think of it, Angela, squeezing out, even
Yeah.
when we squeeze
Yeah.
something except that has to be hand washed, we say, and
Yeah.
you squeeze.
Yeah.
There's drips of water
Yeah.
everywhere for ages. How did they get all the clothes work?
I don't know.
In the summer, Mammy would have blankets.
Yeah.
And they'd be all down along and down
Yeah.
it.
On the line.
Because they were the wood, and they'd
Yeah.
probably once a year.
Yeah. we'd
And
have
they
to
would be all,
wash them.
yeah.
Yeah.
We must have been all stinking.
Well, it's great that she could do all that though.
God bless her, yeah. She was a
did,
great
really.
woman, yeah.
And she lived to be a good age.
94.
Did she really?
She died the year after. Daddy was 94.
Was it?
And he fell
Yeah.
6 o'clock in the morning and he
Mm.
broke his hip and he was dead the following Monday.
No.
But for Daddy,
so quick,
would
Mary.
be the best way because he wouldn't like to have been held up in a
No.
hospital or he wouldn't like to be
Not
laid
that
up.
kind of man at all.
And Mammy went downhill.
Did she?
She just went
Yeah.
straight
She lost.
downhill and she waited the following year then she
Did
died.
she?
She was on the bed and
Mhm.
there used to 2 carers come in. But we used to do it ourselves. They came in 5 days. but we cut it down to 2 days.
Yeah.
And we used to do it ourselves
That's
between
nice.
us. We all managed. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
She deserved that though.
She
was,
did,
yeah,
she
she
did.
did. You remember
I
Mammy
do,
Angela, you
I
do.
do.
Yeah.
I do.
Mammy was, you could tell her anything,
And she,
and I asked her everything, and then she always said that.
yeah.
I came with it, I might understand something,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
and I asked her
Yeah.
every question
Yeah.
going.
That's good.
And she had 2 famous ladies,
Did you?
Pat and Mary Anderson, that used to be in the ICA with them,
Okay.
and they would fill her in on little questions I
Yeah.
would be after
Yeah.
asking that
Yeah.
that
That's it.
she mightn't have understood herself,
Yeah.
but she always came back with the answer for me.
Did you?
Yeah.
And that's lovely. I remember she had lovely silver hair
She had good
and
hair.
was kind of curly. And,
That's
and
right.
the
yeah.
waves in. Did she get the hair done often?
She used to go to Mrs. Allen. Mrs.
Oh, I
Allen
do,
was
yeah.
in Michael Street at the
Yeah.
time,
Was it? Yeah.
and she said it would be hours for a perm,
Yeah.
hours and hours.
Yeah.
And then Mrs. Allen moved to High Street,
Yeah.
and she used to go to Mrs. Allen, but she got the perm in,
Yeah.
and it stayed in. She had lovely hair.
She had.
When she was
Really
younger, it
thick
may
hair.
not have been as,
Yeah.
it might have been a bit more fuzzy over
Yeah.
that, but she had lovely skin. She wore no makeup,
Yeah.
never wore
Did she
makeup,
not?
no.
No.
We tried to put makeup on her she was going to some wedding,
Yeah.
and no. But then she wasn't Mammy
Yeah.
with
I
the
know.
makeup,
I
no.
know.
And she couldn't bear lipstick.
At all.
Yeah, she was awful wonder where she
How
got
you-
it. Yeah, 'cause we do wear makeup, and I do wear makeup
Yeah,
every day.
Of course. I do. too.
Yeah, I do. It's kind
You
of a
couldn't get up
confidence.
without, you know.
Yeah,
into
the
that.
polyfill. Is
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Mary, I know that yourself and your sisters, you love to dress up, don't you? I've often seen pictures up on Facebook with beautiful hats, lovely 1920s dresses. Tell me.
Yeah, we would dress up if we were going somewhere. We say we would dress up, but if it was a birthday now, we say someone's 30th, 40th, 60th even now,
Yeah.
we would do something. Dress up like we could dress up as the Spice Girls.
Really?
And
The Spice Girls.
yeah.
Wow.
Oh, we had deadly photographs of that. But it's only for us. But you'd have a surprise party for who got the Spice Girls? Oh, it must have been Julie, one of the teenagers.
Yeah.
And she used to make up dances to the Spice
Would
Girls.
she? Yeah.
So we learned those
The
dances.
steps.
And the 5 girls of us done that.
Yeah.
And
I would have loved to see that.
oh, we were great. I have lovely,
Yeah.
but I actually probably have it on a video.
Have you?
And yeah, we done. Anne's birthday was there. She was 50,
Yeah.
and we went as Bono. I was the Edge,
Yeah. Oh.
and the other 2 lads in the band.
Yeah.
We dress up on things like that. We done the Eurovision then another time,
Did you?
and Angela's harmless fun.
Oh, it's
but
absolutely brilliant.
yeah, we have wigs.
Yeah.
We have in my house,
Mhm.
Bryan household.
Mm.
We buy wigs.
Yeah.
We buy dress up.
Yeah.
Both my kids were the same.
Yeah.
We dress up, not Frank,
Yeah.
but yeah.
You're welcome.
And when we're doing something, then like we done ABBA.
Yeah.
We,
Oh,
we started off.
did you sing?
We sing to the music
Yeah.
that's singing.
Yeah.
And we do it. And we put in Bucks Fizz, and we put in quite a few, because David Scott was all into Eurovision.
Yeah.
So we had to go back to his age group,
Yes.
and you have to put in a few different ones.
Yeah.
And in that few seconds, and then you have to whip off your clothes and
Yes.
come back and put
Yeah.
on more clothes
Something.
and different wigs and
Yeah.
all that. Yeah, we have them on video somewhere.
Oh,
yeah.
you know,
We
you
do
share
dress
them.
up. Yeah, we love.
It's such a unique thing to do. I've never
It's
heard
different,
of anyone-
yeah.
Because the girls, you see, are all up for it. Like,
Yes, and then
Yeah.
you have to do something. You have to drop it then for a while,
yeah,
and then, like the person we're doing it for,
yeah,
they could be coming in the door,
Yeah.
and we're all practicing in Grumine,
yeah,
and I have to run out the door over to my house because
Okay.
I moved back to Grumine,
yeah,
and they're all.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be dressed up at this stage because we'd be only in practice, and we say like Kathleen the time.
Yeah.
We all had to. I ran.
Yeah.
And Mag ran.
Yeah.
And the other two just sat there talking.
Yeah.
And she came in.
Pretending.
And you don't want her to think that we're all meeting up without her.
Yeah.
But what we are.
Yeah.
But we're planning.
Yeah.
We're doing
What you
for
want to
whatever
do.
is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever is
Lovely.
coming up. It's
Yeah,
just simple
that's
little things, Angela. It's only
beautiful.
you would do it for the family, and that would be
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And it's a unique thing to do.
Yeah, and it's just the
Yeah.
sisters we say
Yeah.
that does it.
And
Yeah.
she had a great
Yeah.
time.
Now Kathleen done the dancing one time.
Did she?
I have these teeth, they're
Yeah.
like prominent teeth.
Yeah,
You wear them for
Yeah.
funny things and that.
Yeah.
And we put on this Irish dancing costume on her, and we put a wig, and we put the teeth in, and she came out dancing. It's only a few seconds,
Yeah.
but it actually was the highlight.
What?
Yeah, for that few minutes, and it gives us that few seconds and to get ready to do something else. She was brilliant. Yeah,
Oh,
she's
that's
great.
brilliant,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we just
You could
make
be-
up little things,
Yeah, you could be
and
thinking about it.
yeah,
or
but you couldn't
something.
keep doing it because
Not all
they'll
the time.
expect it then,
Yeah.
and you have to kind of draw the line.
Drop
yeah,
it for a while,
yeah.
and
It's nice.
then it's a surprise again.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it's just what the person is into at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your greatest memory of school or going to mass or at home or
I've great memories of Bryan at Christmas.
yeah,
Great
Tell me.
memories of
yeah,
Christmas morning in Bryan, even when the electricity might be gone.
yeah.
And I remember getting a blackboard, and a big blackboard,
Mm-hmm.
and dragging it.
Mhm.
I was so surprised at the size of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, Christmas
Was
morning
this Santa
in
Claus,
Bryan.
yeah?
Oh yeah, we were Santa at this
Yes,
stage.
yes,
And I'd say there would have always been 5 of us.
Yeah.
As maybe the older ones wouldn't be Santa, but they played on.
yeah,
And everybody got up.
yeah.
Everybody was up,
Yeah.
Mammy and Daddy, and we all, like, the door would open. We
Were
were
you waiting
afraid.
for Santa to
We were
come?
afraid. Everything was left in the kitchen as well.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, you went to bed early because you were
Yeah,
too
you did.
afraid. And actually, Mammy used to have the radio on the night before, the evening before, and there would be a Santa on talking, and he called names.
yeah.
And Mary was always
Always,
called. Yeah.
always.
Sheila, not so much. Stella, very seldom.
Yeah.
Or Colin,
Oh, okay.
but kind of names.
Yeah.
And Mammy said, she used to shout the name.
Yeah.
And then, oh yeah, we all heard it.
Yeah.
But there was never called.
Okay.
And she had that way, the excitement,
She-
brought
she
it up
make
that
it.
way. And then Christmas morning was absolutely special in Irvine. Everyone came down together,
Yeah.
and everything was left out on
Exciting.
chairs, and the stockings. Now, there weren't stockings like today,
No.
they were the biggest stocking you could find. And they were full, and your gift, 1 or 2 things now, and then you had a big fry for your breakfast.
Yeah.
And we were at probably 8 o'clock mass.
Yeah.
And we sang in the choir in Fuchstown.
Yeah.
And
Did you have
then
3
come
masses?
home.
Did you have to?
No,
attend?
I don't remember 3 mass.
Yeah.
We went to mass. Maybe it was to be on for ages,
Yeah.
but we went and we
Yeah.
sang.
Yeah.
That part I don't remember. We were so excited, Angela.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
That's what I
And
wanted to-
yeah, and what we used to love then is you walk down from the choir up to the altar and back down and up to the choir
Up
at
to
the
the
very
choir.
back. That was really special because you were getting bigger.
Yeah.
You were, you were
Okay.
9 or 10 at that stage,
Yeah.
maybe 8 or 9, and you
Yeah.
were with the big girls. And
Yeah.
all the bigger girls were gone. We were with them.
Yeah.
And then you came home and you played away with your toys and whatever we had, and then the dinner.
Yeah.
And there was a man that lived away from us, a bit away from us, and his dinner was got first and put into a Pyrex dish,
Mm.
and Daddy would go on one of us
Take it
to make sure he got
him.
and dessert and whatever would be
The whole
going,
one.
and to be done on a big Pyrex
What
dish,
is
enough
it?
for 2 days, you see.
Really?
Yeah.
That's all
And
right.
then dessert and the whole
Really
and
good.
shit. And then when Daddy and whoever went, we took it in turns because that man would give us maybe a shilling.
Yeah. Well,
And we come back home and have our dinner.
yeah.
And we loved our dinner.
Yeah.
loved,
absolutely.
yeah. And you
Everyone
got
sat
lemonade.
together.
There was
Yeah.
no Coke.
And
There was
she-
lemonade or orange from Byrne's
Oh,
in the
really?
bottles, and the
Lovely,
crates were in the back room.
Yes.
And we used to love that. We used to pretend we were having sherry, lemonade,
Yes.
things, and you know the normal thing: jelly, dessert, trifle, and
Yeah.
plum pudding. And Mammy made all her plum puddings
bet
and
she
Christmas
did.
cakes. Yeah,
She was a great woman, Mary.
a brilliant woman.
How
I
did she do it
couldn't.
all,
Yeah,
though?
she
You
made.
know.
We used to say she'd get a box of chocolates from someone or a tin of biscuits, and and you gave them a cake. We couldn't understand.
Yeah.
We were getting a big tin
I
of biscuits,
know.
and Mammy only gave.
Yeah.
And that's only afterwards I realised she would have made that Christmas cake to give to someone,
Absolutely.
and they would give her biscuits for the kids.
Yeah.
Mammy never bought tins of biscuits.
No.
Mammy, she
didn't
always
have
bought
to.
packets.
Did she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She thought they were a
Yeah.
waste.
Yeah.
She bought boxes of chocolate, or
Yeah.
Collins. You remember them?
I
The
do, I
Collins
do.
sweets.
The
She never
Collins-
bought tins of biscuits.
Mary, I want to ask you, was the Colleen this sweets, were they toffee?
Some of them were toffee.
Yeah,
Yeah, there were
yeah.
more toffee in them than there are
Yeah.
today. They were lovely. And then the box was, Santi was on front of it.
Okay.
And we used to cut the box and make little things out of it.
Did you?
Yeah, we used to make different little things. Or
Yeah.
you'd get cut out dolls and
Yeah.
that for Christmas and things like that.
And the
Yeah.
bunchy or there was another one.
And the Beano and the
Yeah, the Dandy.
yeah.
Do you remember those?
We got the Beano every week actually, and the
Did
Beano. We
Yeah.
got the Beano, and later on then we got the Beano and the Bunty.
Okay.
And she was cut out doll.
Yeah,
at the
that's
back,
right,
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we
Played
did
for
have.
hours and hours.
Yeah, our Stella now got a doll.
Yes.
She wanted a boy doll
Okay.
for Christmas, a baby boy doll.
Oh,
but
did
there was
she?
no baby dolls,
No,
Mammy said at the
boy.
time.
Yeah.
And definitely not a boy.
I know.
And she bought Moores used to have toys, you know, Moores, the drapery shop.
I do. Yeah.
They used to do toys, seemingly. I don't remember it, but they didn't have it.
Okay.
But Lennon's shop had a mannequin of
Okay.
a
A boy.
baby boy
Yes.
in the shop, and
Yeah.
Mammy bought.
Did
She
she?
had to buy it,
Yeah.
and she said she was so afraid because she spent so much on it,
Yeah.
and all Stella wanted was a nappy with one pin, because the
Oh.
Americans used to have one
Okay.
pin. We used to have two.
Yeah.
And she had that baby, and she called it Terry Trampus. Terry after Terry Wogan, and Trampus after the Virginian. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
She loved the name Terry, so Terry Trampus. She still have him. His face would break.
Oh.
His body was hard plastic.
Yeah.
A gorgeous baby doll.
To Mary.
But
Yeah,
she
the man
thought
was everything.
of
And where was
everything.
Lennon's then in town?
Lennon's is now, you come out of it from the Market Cross. You know, when you're coming from the Market Cross, and it's the motorway out. It's
Oh,
the
okay.
drive-through.
Yes. There.
I brought my tights in there for
Did
my
you?
wedding day.
Did
Yeah,
you?
they had everything in Lennon's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a real little...
Trying
But
to-
seemingly they had... well, they didn't have toys, but she had a mannequin in the
That's
window.
what
Mammy
she-
said they had everything in
Yeah.
clothes
Yeah.
in Lennon's.
Okay.
And when I was getting married, it was hard to get white tights, and I
Yeah.
got them in there.
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
And now that's the opening for the
I know
drive
where
into the car
exactly.
park. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've forgotten about that shop. I had
Yeah,
forgotten
I
all
did.
about
I
it.
used to love that shop.
Yeah.
I used to love looking at the little drawers and
Yeah.
Browns. Do you remember Browns?
I do,
I loved
I stayed
Mrs.
there.
Brown. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually,
Michael Dorr
Yeah.
has their lovely shop.
do,
He has
yeah.
there. Yeah,
I
Michael
remember
Dorr.
that very well, Mary. And I worked opposite in Imco Cleaners, straight opposite.
Yeah.
Browns. And sure, they're all gone now.
There's cleaners there now again, isn't there?
Yeah,
in
it's
the High Street.
Is that up where the, not far from the down hall?
Oh, that's
the
where that
left-hand
is.
side?
Yeah, yeah.
Is
That's
it?
a nice.
Is
Yeah,
that the
yeah.
one?
Yeah, I just seen it. Yeah.
Did
You wouldn't know it was a
Not
cleaners.
so,
No.
no. I think they're refurbishing it now. I saw that in the window. You are heavy into a wonderful organisation called Chernobyl. And it is where you bring children to Ireland and you get the fare paid from Chernobyl and you have them for many years.
But yeah, I got. I had 4 1 year. I had 3 another year, but I have 2 that I have all the time,
Yeah.
and they're coming since they were 9.
Yeah.
And Gira and Christina,
Yes.
and yeah, you do a fundraiser to bring them in,
Yeah.
But at Christmas, you must pay.
Yes.
You can't fundraise to bring them in
Okay.
at Christmas.
Okay.
So that's your own.
Yes.
But that is what every family decides to do, and that's what you can do, and
Yeah.
that's what we wanted to do, and that's the way we worked it.
Mm-hmm.
But both mine now, we're still in contact. COVID came, and they couldn't come in. We were trying to get Gira in full time to live here.
Yeah.
And the war came.
Yeah. Oh.
And we talked to him. He's working now, and she's working. She's gone to Poland. So hopefully in the next few weeks, we're hoping to go over to Poland to meet up with her, with Christina. She has she has parents, her mother and her sisters and brothers.
Yeah.
But Gira didn't. He has them. Everyone has a parents, but he was in a house of hope. And
is that an orphanage, Mary?
it's they're taken out of the orphanage, and there's probably 12 of them in a house.
Okay.
And there's a mama. Mama, they had different mamas.
Okay.
They changed the mamas here and there.
And that's the mama that looks after them.
Yeah, Mama Lily, Mama whoever. Mama Lily was the mom we knew. So and they were lovely kids. My two. I used to say they get away with murder, and I know. But they're only here for a holiday. Yeah. But they were coming for so long. Then I'd have them for Chernobyl Aid Ireland, and they'd come in for 5 weeks, and then I'd have them in for 2 or 3 weeks at Christmas. And as they were getting older, sure, it was like as if they were just going to boarding school and coming back. Yeah. But COVID killed it, and they need visas to get out. And Christina got the visa to go to Poland, but they took her back then. So now she got home for 6 months, and she's gone back out again. And she can work. And
is that easier than Mary to be in Poland?
It is for her, and she'll get, she can move around, and she doesn't have to be careful what she's saying or anything like that. And poor Algira is, he's grand.
What ages would they be?
Both of them now are 21.
Are they?
Well, we can't lodge anything in. Before you could send a box, or you could lodge money in to their account. Yes. That can't happen now since the war in Ukraine, because Belarus is involved with Russian, and their 21st birthdays came, and we couldn't give them nothing but love talking to them, and we will get them. Yeah, we will. They will eventually come. I'd say Gira will eventually come home. Yeah, and she comes and goes. She will. She'll go to my Stephanie in Seattle. I'd say Christina, we'll head over there and we'll get him in here.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, well, hopefully we will. Please God, yeah. And I don't plug anyone, and I'm not into politics or anything, and everyone is great in their own way. But I would have to say Kathleen Function was very good.
Was she really?
When we were trying to get Gira to my and it was only through my son talking to her. And she said she'd do what she could, like they all do, and she did come back to us. And I suppose it's because she did keep it, and I would like to just say that I have my own views on all politicians and the whole lot, and who I vote for, but I would like to say that she was very good to us, but the war came. And
I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah.
She was there for you.
Yeah, and she's a lovely girl. She's a Kilkenny girl, and they're all. I have no problem with anybody, but it's just it has nothing to do with politics. But she was she did try her best for us.
Really good.
It's a nice.
Delighted to hear that. Mary, what year did you get married? What month?
1980, the 16th of February.
1980.
Yeah.
What was the day like? Was it sunny?
Yeah. It was a beautiful morning. Went into maybe Carey's to get my hair done. A lady. Came home, and Mammy had breakfast for everybody, but I wasn't hungry. No. But it was all, again, the limelight is the one person, and then you get dressed and the cars arrive, and I can still remember it. Like? I had a beautiful dress. It had a little high neck on the tier, and it went straight down.
Chiffon.
Kind of a a brush. No, it wasn't brush. More of a cheesecloth
yeah.
feel to it, but
Yes.
it's not a cheesecloth.
Yeah.
You know, the very fine. And
Did you have a plunging neckline?
no, I had the neck came up.
yes, the neck.
Yeah, the high neck.
Yeah.
And the little sleeve, which you could see through the sleeve.
And the veil?
My veil was there was a little bit of a train on the thing, and Daddy actually tripped over it, going back to his seat and ripped it. But you wouldn't know.
No.
And I didn't know, and I didn't care at that stage. I was
No.
at the top of the altar at that stage. My head went like that. Yeah, we all, I didn't get married in Fuchstown Church.
Oh,
the only one of us.
Yeah.
Into Patrick's.
Did you?
I made my confirmation in Patrick's Church, and I went in. I think it was the fact that the church, I loved Patrick's Church, and I got married in Patrick's Church, but I was the only one of the 7 girls that got married in Patrick's.
Yeah, you had to be different.
I always was different. I loved it.
What kind of shoes had you?
I had I actually had a sandal.
Yeah.
But even though it was February and it had a high heel. And it was lovely.
Yeah.
I actually wore them afterwards to different things. I had them for ages. White tights, obviously, and the garter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had 2 bridesmaids, Sheila and Teresa.
What colour were they?
Kind of a salmony pinky colour.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you can put salmon and pink together, the two, you know, that kind of in between.
Yeah.
And they were lovely. And I loved the day. I can remember it arriving at the church, coming out of the church. It rained, and Oliver and his wife,
photographer.
Yeah, God rest both of them.
Yeah.
And Oliver's wife put a big umbrella in front of my dress.
Did she?
Yeah, and someone held one over our head. Frank held one over our heads, not to get splashes of water on it. And then to Spring Hill.
Yeah, Spring Hill.
And then we were going to London on our honeymoon, and we stayed in Carlow Lodge, you know, the hotel there.
I do.
2 single beds.
Oh.
So we shoved the 2 of them together. We managed, let's put it that way. And we went off to London.
Yeah.
Loved it. Came home then. And
what flowers did you have?
Carnations.
Oh,
I was a real carnated pink,
Beautiful.
Beautiful scent, Mammy
okay.
always had them in the garden, and I think
Yeah.
for everything we had carnations. But it was Farrell's. Do you know Farrell's at High Street? They done my flowers.
Did they?
But Mammy done flowers in the church.
For the church
they done the church and the buttonholes and all that. But Mammy put a few around seats.
Oh, that's beautiful.
She had a fabulous garden.
Were you nervous?
No.
Not a bit?
No.
Just delighted?
Yeah, I was, the way I did put it without being cocky, I was so happy.
Yeah.
I loved him to bits. I still do.
Absolutely,
I don't know why I
He's a
feel
lovely
like crying, but I do.
He's a
Yeah.
lovely man.
My mother used to say, "Will you hang on to him?"
Yeah.
Oh, Mom, I don't love him. And she go, "Oh, you do. You do." We did. And he was so easygoing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we have our rows, don't get me wrong. And
No, but they were all the same.
but if I was back again, I would still have married him.
Of course.
Yeah. Like yourself and John, you were like love
Yeah.
birds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Loved him. Still do. And
That's
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah.
I
Good
only
man.
knew John a year when we were married.
that's all well, I worked with Frank, but I only went out with him for a year.
For a year.
And it goes too quick.
Yeah. And we're married 52 years now.
And I'm 43.
Are you? Yeah. Next April, the 3rd.
The
We're
third.
married 52, yeah.
God, that's only next week.
Oh, it's trying to.
Oh, yeah, you're lovely. Yeah.
We don't know about age. We don't
No,
think about
age
it.
don't come into anything, Angela. We get on with our life.
Yeah.
And whether you're 22
Yeah.
or 82,
Yeah.
as long as you can get up and go in the morning
And-
and do no harm to anyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's the way I feel about
Yeah.
it.
That's me. And
Have
I
more
enjoy
confidence.
life. I
Yeah.
do enjoy life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have more confidence.
Bit
as you get
slower
older.
maybe now, but yeah. Oh God, yeah. I was very shy when I was young.
Oh,
You would
sure.
remember me.
Yeah.
And I was very, very innocent.
Yeah.
Wasn't
We
I?
all
Yeah.
were really, We didn't know what we were getting into,
Yeah, I always put it down to we're country, you're
Girls,
country as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
We were country girls,
Mm.
and we always felt that town girls were more streetwise. Maybe
Yeah.
they were, maybe they weren't,
Yeah.
but we were that little bit more innocent.
Yeah.
I always felt we were a bit more
My
protected.
mother used to say that
Yeah,
too. The
yeah.
town girls, oh, they're slick, you know. And
Yeah,
they know everything.
But I would have
and-
loved to be in the town.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love.
Yeah.
Yeah, to have lived in the town,
Yeah.
but we didn't. We lived out there, and then I eventually moved back home.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
Yeah.
That a long time ago?
When we were getting married, there was a site. You know where Super Value is now in Kilkenny, up there. The L&N used to be there.
Oh, I do.
That wasn't there.
Yeah.
There was all fields.
Yes.
And we were in this field. We were after buying a site. The council had sites.
Yes.
And we bought a site. We were in the wrong field. And we were up.
Bryan.
And eventually, then we got the papers and
Yeah.
we looked it out. And we built a bungalow.
Lovely.
And we were so happy.
Yeah.
We had very little,
Yeah.
but we were so happy. And yeah, built a
Yeah.
3-bedroom.
I think I was at your bungalow.
You were, I think you were, yeah.
I think I did too.
And I loved the town.
Yeah.
I will admit, I loved the town.
You just walked
Frank
down.
would love the country, and
Yeah.
both my kids loved the country.
Did
And
they?
eventually, Daddy said, "Would you move back?" And I
Yeah.
said, "Yeah." So I moved back home. Mike went into the home place, and I built beside him.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
And it was grand for us all then, you know.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Daddy was more calmer as he got
Yeah.
older.
Wasn't telling you to be home.
Well, I had my own car then. I was out to drive, come and go as I liked.
Yeah.
And anyway, I loved my bike. As I said, I went everywhere on my bike. Yeah.
Did you keep the bike?
Kept the bike until it was robbed.
Oh.
Every bike I had was robbed.
Was it?
Yeah.
Had
I
you
had
no
a bike
lock on
belonged
it,
to
Mary?
I had a lock. My
Yeah.
sister's bike.
Yeah.
My first bike was robbed.
Yeah.
The bike that we got when we were 12
Yeah.
was robbed.
Oh.
And then my sister gave me her bike. She was living in the town at
Yes.
the time, Kathleen, in Meadow Hill.
Yeah.
And I got a puncture.
Yeah.
And I put the bike, thinking it was a great thing,
Yeah.
in the church. Who'd
Yeah,
touch
yeah,
a bike
nobody.
inside in a graveyard? I was coming home that evening.
Hmm.
And no bike.
Oh no.
Bike was robbed. And I had it locked,
Yeah.
but someone just seen it and
Yeah.
robbed it. And
Seemed to get it
I got
back.
another bike. Stella gave me her bike. I had
Yeah.
everyone's bike. I was
Yeah,
well
did
able
you?
to.
Yeah.
I could take the only bike I didn't take was Daddy's bike
Yeah.
because he had gears and he'd have it
Oh,
set.
okay, yeah.
I robbed the boys' bikes.
Did you?
Seamus had a racer.
Yeah.
I used to take
The
that
best.
when he wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Col's bike.
Yeah.
High Nelly bikes, every bike. I took every bike to go into town. Once I could get into town, I didn't
You
care.
were okay.
And then I came back home.
Yeah. That's lovely.
I always come back home.
Are you there now for years?
Oh yeah, we moved out there. I were longer back home now again
Than
than
you
I
were.
was in town in Archer's
Yeah.
Court. And I loved Archer's Court, I really did.
Yeah.
I loved
It
the
was
town.
time to go back out.
It started
maybe.
building up then again. And where we were, there was no church or anything there.
At that time.
The Ficus Church wasn't there.
No.
And then it went up
And
and a few houses and went
super
up. And there were lovely people. It's
Oh.
just, we decided to go back out
Go
the
back.
country. Yeah.
Oh,
And mine were and they loved it. Both mine loved the country.
Did they?
Yeah,
Did
they didn't take
Yeah.
after me
It's
that
a
way.
whole different scene though, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think being in town and when they're out the country, they could go anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And for a girl that loved the country, I
Yeah.
loved the country.
Yeah.
I preferred to be still in. I loved while I was a teenager.
Getting to walk downtown.
Oh, I loved being in town. We used to
Yeah.
leave our bikes
Did you
in
meet your friends?
Cashy
in town?
Close. Yeah, I'd be in town. I left my bike in Patrick Street in Cashy Close. He had a shop, and I used to walk through the shop,
Yeah.
leave the bike in,
Oh, it's safe
down
then.
the town, and meet the girls.
Yeah.
And I was like Cinderella,
Yeah.
watching the time then to be home
Yeah.
because we had to be home.
Yeah.
We had to be home for our tea at
Yeah,
6 o'clock
6 o'clock. Did you say the rosary in the house?
every night.
What time would you say the
The
rosary?
rosary was said before the news.
6
just-
o'clock.
No, the
9
later
o'clock.
news. Yeah, we
Yeah.
would say the rosary around 8 o'clock
Yeah.
because there was a litany of prayers to be said
Oh,
at
there
that
were,
time.
I know.
Then there was 5 decades, and then the Our Father, the 3 Hail Marys, and
Yeah.
the Glory be for the
Oh,
souls in purgatory.
yeah.
And then you had this litany of pray for me. You remember that?
Yeah.
And then all the prayers afterwards.
Yeah.
And as Daddy would say, the first decade, and then you had there was 4 older than me.
Yeah.
So they got the decade. So
Yeah.
I was the Our Father, 3 Hail
Were you?
Marys. That's how I remember this. For the food stores and purgatory.
Yeah.
And then as the boys wouldn't be there,
yeah.
it went on down along. And all our beads hung
Huh.
at the end of the cooker.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, the rosary beads.
All our rosary beads were up
different
there.
colours.
All different colours. Once you had a rosary beads, you didn't care.
Yeah,
And a cushion to
everyone-
kneel on.
Okay.
We knelt down. We had to kneel down to say our prayers.
Yeah.
We couldn't
And
sit
some
down.
people used to kneel down and put their hands on the chair that they actually were sitting on. Did you ever see
Oh yeah,
that?
we knelt on
Yeah,
and
they-
thing. But Daddy'd say,
No.
yeah, chin up.
Yeah.
And you sat
Yeah.
back up. Then when you wouldn't be looking, you know. Or if you started laughing, you know, sometimes you might laugh.
Oh, he was getting laughing.
Yeah, and he'd say, I'll start it all over again now
I
if
know.
I continue.
Did he ever?
Once or twice you'd
Yeah.
start all over and you'd be holding your nose.
Don't.
No, we didn't say the rosary. Or one night I said to him, can we watch Hawaii 5-0
Yeah.
and say the rosary?
After.
Yeah, but after was the news.
Oh.
No
So.
way. And there was no tape and no recording then. So no, Hawaii 5-0. But Hawaii 5-0 eventually went later in time. So
Yeah.
we were lucky.
Oh,
we
you
got
were
to
lucky
see
then.
it,
Yeah.
We wouldn't be allowed much
Do you
television.
remember
at that
High
time.
Chaparral?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
Their man was gorgeous.
Do you remember Bobby in that? He was younger.
The youngest
That-
lad, yeah.
Yeah, my mother loved him.
Yeah.
And when I had my own son, his name is Noel, but she always called him Bobby because of Bobby in the High Chaparral.
High Chaparral.
So it stuck to
Oh,
me.
they were loyal.
Nobody only knows him now, only Bobby.
Yeah. We used to watch Up the Junction. Did you ever see
I
that?
never know.
It was 3 girls and an uncle.
Yeah.
And he used to always say, well, it's 3 boys we should have having. But we ended up with 3 girls and they were Billy Joe, Bobby Joe and Bessie Joe.
Yeah.
I used to love that. It's simple little
I
things, you know,
know.
Lassie
She'd
and
be just
things
waiting
like that.
for it.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
yeah.
she?
We
Come on,
didn't, there was
Yeah.
only one channel, I think,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah. And the news, yeah.
Yeah. My mother used to love it. She'd stay sitting
Oh.
watching television until it closed down at night.
Yeah,
And used to close down with the national anthem.
that's right. Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
My mother wasn't a television person, but the paper,
Yeah, she was.
and never read the paper until night time.
Yeah.
And
When she
probably when every one of us were sitting down and she could sit and she didn't have to go up and down and do, because she did get up and down. She done all our washings. She done everything.
everything.
Like some of the girls I worked with couldn't believe
Yeah.
that my mother done all our washings and our ironing, and I'd say, God, I hope my jeans is ready for tonight and there to be
Yeah, it will be.
hanging in the wardrobe.
Oh.
Or she'd say, I don't know who you think you're codding. I'd buy new clothes and hang them into the wardrobe
Yeah.
so she'd see them.
Yeah.
And she said, I don't know who you think you're codding. They're new.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I think I have that a while. And she goes, they're new. I wash and iron your clothes. You know, I know what's new in the wardrobe. Yeah. Because she'd be saying to me, do you not save your money? Do you need this?
Yeah.
And do not save. I spent everything on
Yeah.
clothes.
You did know what? You were right.
Now I know I
You
was.
know.
Yeah, yeah.
Enjoy yourself.
I did. I spent. Yeah. But
Yeah.
sure. I had it to spend. I wasn't
Yeah,
asking anyone
exactly.
else for it. So. Oh yeah, probably did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah. It's okay. We all, that's the way we were. And
I didn't know anyone. Oh, the credit union I loved.
yeah.
I will admit.
Do you know, I was one of the first 100 members of the credit union.
Oh,
I was in input and down,
Yeah.
opposite Browns, and just up from me a little bit was hairdressers. I can't remember the name of it now. But over that then, the credit union had only a room up there. They had no place.
I had no place. Yeah.
They started off there, and that's where I put my first savings.
Yeah, Daddy often says he was on at the first lot
Yeah, as well.
in the credit union, and he said from the day he heard about it,
Yeah.
he knew it was going to be a good thing for
Yeah.
people that needed it.
Yeah,
You know, everybody needs it.
of course.
You know,
Of course they do.
and he said the pawn shops then were gone.
They were gone after that.
And sure, it was a great thing.
Absolutely.
Great thing for
Absolutely.
people. Yeah,
Yeah.
we all had our holidays and our
We
Christmas
did.
shoppings and all that.
Yeah.
With the credit union, yeah, Lord God, Paddy Fry,
Yeah.
he was great.
That's
They were all
right.
great, but
Yeah,
I
I remember
always
him.
used to make for Paddy Fry. He's still alive, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah, he
Is
is. I used to see him at Mass.
Did you?
God, if he's not, may he rest in
Did he
peace,
have-
because he was my man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. I go to him, and
Yeah. Has
Call
he
in now
signed
next
MLA or
Tuesday.
no?
No, that was Mr. Kennedy, was it? That was,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Paddy Fry was a smaller man with glasses, a gentleman,
Yeah.
an absolute gentleman.
Yeah.
I loved him.
Yeah.
And I only had dealings with him, something like that. I'd
Money.
say, yeah, money. So. And he said, no problem. It has to, it had to go
Yes,
through a
yeah.
board or whatever. Come back into me now next
And
Tuesday, and I come back
you
in.
have
And
it for
give me
you?
the wink.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
that's so great.
Is there
Yeah.
anything else you want to share with me?
No, I think
Are you?
I'm after talking too much, am I?
No.
I hope I didn't bore
Not at
anyone.
all,
So
not at
yeah.
all.
No, I had a good life.
Yeah.
We didn't have everything we wanted. We worked hard,
And you
and I got
survived.
where I am today.
Yeah.
I wasn't a school person.
Yeah.
Just to
No.
let that be known, I was not.
No,
yeah,
me neither.
I
really.
never. I
No.
left school at 16 and went
Yeah.
to work, and I loved.
I was the
working.
same.
Yeah.
That's good. Went to
You
work
were
at
a
16.
scholar, right?
I don't think
You're
so.
a good scholar. I wasn't. My sisters were all very bright.
Yeah,
I
they
was. I never bothered.
Yeah. Isn't
Yeah.
that? That was you.
Oh, that was me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
that
have
was
to
me.
change.
And that's not. No, I'm not going to change now anyway.
No.
No.
I'd like to thank Mary for her story today. It was just a pleasure having her here on the podcast. And I'll talk to you again. Thank you.